Welcome to Boca, the podcast, the food podcast, where I'm your host, Luis Casas. We're gonna be diving each episode in different perspective of this phenomenon, different cultures, controversies, and trending topics that shape the way that we eat today and the way that we relate to the world through food today. So for this very first episode, it's titled Gastronomy, Art, Science, Technique, or Knowledge. It is possible that there are as many ways to understand the phenomenon of gastronomy as there are people in the world. This is especially true considering that everything encompassed by this concept is constantly being fed and reshaped by other notions such as art, science, technique, and knowledge. In this regard, the present episode focuses on the transversality as one of gastronomy's fundamental characteristics. Indeed, the goal is to propose a general framework of reference, highlighting the key milestones and contributions throughout the emergence and evolution of each notion, with a special focus on those that continue to shape the current understanding and reality of gastronomy. From a historical perspective, the first documented use of the term gastronomy dates back to the 4th century BC. Gastrology, gastronomy, hidipathia is attributed to Archestratus of Gela. Later, in 1801, the term gained popularity through a playful poem by French intellectual Joseph Berchoux, titled Gastronomy or the Pleasures of the Table. The topic was expressed in an ode that although the act of eating and our relationship with food held a central place always in our lives, it had to be yet immortalized in poetry, and Berchoux certainly achieved that, and he even elevated to the category of art. More than 200 years later, the International Association of Art, an official partner of UNESCO, defines art as follows: art is the essence of human culture. It gives people access to their cultural heritage, as well as to the contemporary ideas and trends. It helps shape society's self-understanding and sense of identity. Art is the expression of human experience in all its diversity and history. Meanwhile, the scientific community, through the leading organizations such as the U.S. National Academy of Sciences, the Royal Society of the United Kingdom, and similar academies worldwide, generally endorses the following definition of science: the systematic study of the natural world through observation, experimentation, and the formulation of testable hypotheses to understand and explain natural phenomena. Similarly, the term technique is generally understood across various fields, such as art, science, and technology, as a specific method, a process, or approach used to carry out a particular task or achieve a specific goal. On the other hand, the concept of knowledge is broader and is widely accepted across disciplines and cultures. It refers to information, facts, and understanding acquired through experience, education, research, or reasoning. In this sense, all of the notions discussed today, gastronomy, art, science, technique, and knowledge, are now in full symbiosis, especially in a world where hyperconnectivity and technological advancement has set the tone for the global village. In this regard, culinary art has been gaining a lot of ground through the proliferation of higher education institutions and the increasing transformation of fine dining restaurants into a full sensory and artistic experiences. The presentation of dishes, their design, tableware, and the overall ambience have become essential elements of the gastronomic act, which now goes beyond mere tasting to include staging, storytelling, and a particular interpretation of different territories from an artistic point of view. In fact, today it is also valid to speak of gastronomy as a science. You only have to look at the growing number of research funds and awards focused on linking these two worlds. Now we can point out the rising of the food industry, the proliferation of academic degrees in food science, and the laboratory processing of food and to develop new products, the financing and creation of germplasm banks around the world to preserve food resources, and the research into their cultivation both on Earth and potentially beyond. They are all clear examples of this transversality of these concepts. Now, finally, the knowledge and the technique are both stored, or they are kept in physical repositories and increasingly in digital formats, either knowledge and technique. So this includes the traditional platforms such as museums, ministries of culture, scientific and academic databases, papers, journals, as well as more innovative and cutting-edge projects, such as that on the renowned gastronomic personality Ferran Adrià with La Bougigrafia. This holistic proposal consists of a historical archive museum of El Bougi, envisioned to become the largest repository of gastronomic knowledge from the beginnings of the humanity to the contemporary world. In other words, there is a growing interest in registering ancestral and modern food techniques and technologies as distinctive cultural elements of our species. In conclusion, it should come to as no surprise that current trending topics about the future of gastronomy are increasingly being dictated or shaped by the latest developments in each of these interconnected fields.